This is News 14 Carolina Meteorologist Matthew East, and a new format with the videos I'm starting now. I'm going to do a separate Carolina weather video and a tropical weather video, and we'll shift gears with that as we need to as we head into the winter season. But I thought it best to sort of break up these videos. Those of you interested in the tropics, you can watch that video. Those of you just interested in the weather here in the Carolinas can watch this video. So this is the Carolina weather video for Friday, the 12th day of September. This is an image from this morning up in Boone in the high country, and some clouds hanging around there to start off the day, but the wedge that's been in place here in the Piedmont already eroding away pretty quickly this morning. More on that in just a second. At the coast, that's the Avalon Pier camera, and pretty good looking morning for coastal parts of the Carolinas, and a lot of folks with a last second beach getaway coming up this weekend, and the weather really looks pretty nice up and down the Carolina coastline. Now here across the Piedmont, we have had our classic Carolina wedge in place as we've gone through the past 36 hours or so, and we had lots of low clouds and fog this morning, especially around the Triad. Very, very dense fog, many visibilities below 1 mile for an extended period of time this morning. But the support for that wedge across the Carolinas in terms of the high pressure over the New England states, that's gone now. And we're going to watch winds switch around out of the southwest as today unfolds, and that will lead to the wedge scouring out completely and pretty hot weather this weekend. But, again, you can see here on this map that wedge this morning. This is the temperature map still in place here across portions of the Carolinas, most of us in the upper 60s to lower 70s as we started off the day today. All right, satellite imagery here across the southeast. This is the infrared imagery, and of course this is Ike, and I'll have a full discussion about Ike in the tropical weather video. Click over to that if you'd like to learn more about Ike. And I know it's tough to see, but at the time I snapped this image, there was a whole lot of low cloud cover here across the Piedmont down into North Georgia. That was with that wedge, but again, the support for the wedge is waning, and we'll see some sunshine working in today. All right, radar across the southeastern quadrant of the country, and again, even though you don't see a whole lot indicated around our area, we have seen some light rain and drizzle at times this morning. Big rains across portions of Texas on up into the Ohio Valley and the Plains states. That's right along a frontal boundary, and really, much of this same area will see some of the rains from Ike, as Ike will lift up in this general direction here and drop a lot of rainfall as it does so. So flooding will be a big problem even well inland into the interior part of the United States with Ike. But around here, as we get to the heating of the day today, we could see a few showers and thunderstorms out there. But they should be relatively far between and well spaced today. All right, this is the 06Z run of the GFS. This is the 500 millibar chart valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's Ike in the northwestern Gulf. And there's a trough there in the western part of the country. And I'll say right off the bat here, the GFS and the European model handle that trough completely differently. I'll show you that in just a second. Surface map this afternoon. There's your chance for a few showers and thunderstorms out there as we go through this afternoon and into this evening, and notice all that rain continuing there along that frontal boundary. Notice the ridge really beginning to crank here across the southeastern part of the country. That's going to give us some hot weekend weather. In terms of precipitation chances, not a lot there. I suppose I can't rule out a shower or storm in the region as we go through Saturday, but I think most spots probably dry, and it's going to be pretty hot. Lower 90s for highs, even some mid-90s possible, Saturday, Sunday, and even on into Monday as well. All right, that is Saturday's surface map. Let's go to the 500 millibar chart for Sunday. Very well-formed ridge here nosing into the southeastern part of the country. And it's by the way, Ike's on the edge of that ridge. That's what's turning Ike to the northwest with time today. But with that ridge sitting overhead here, that hot weather will crank for us this weekend. It'll feel more like an August weekend than a September weekend. There goes Ike, all that rain falling in the southern plain states. And that'll keep lifting off to the northeast, generally around our area. Here we are as we get into the day on Monday. And notice the GFS has this trough centered back over portions of the Ozarks up into the western Great Lakes. At the same time period, or roughly the same time period, here's the European model. Notice that it is much farther to the east with the base of that trough. And I've leaned my forecast today toward the European solution. So the GFS would have you to believe it might stay warmer longer next week. I've gone with the idea of staying quite warm through Monday and then cooling things off back down into the 80s for highs beginning on Tuesday. That's the surface map for the GFS on Monday, and again, that showing the front still off to our west at that point in time. Tuesday, again, GFS still has the front off to our west. It's a very muggy look, frankly, a pretty hot look on the GFS, if that's correct. And finally, that trough sags in here on Wednesday on the GFS. But again, I think it's a little slow with this scenario. I've gone more with that European solution of the trough swinging through Monday and cooling us back down as we get into Tuesday. All right, that's it for this edition of the video. Reminders for you, my email address, matthew.east@news14.com, News 14 Carolina on Time Warner Cable Channel 14 in the Charlotte, Triad, Triangle, and Coastal Television markets, and on the web at www.news14.com. Everyone have a great weekend coming up. Enjoy it, and we'll be back with new videos coming up for you Monday morning here. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and God bless.